All right, it looks like I am live. Woohoo! We did it. All right. Hi everybody, I'm Carolyn. I'm from Golden Fluid Art. I'm a fluid artist and also a Heartwork Journaling certified coach. What is Heartwork Journaling? Heartwork Journaling is a new form of life coaching where it brings in lots of different modes of and different tools for self-recovery and self-healing. And so I'm bringing that together with my other passion and my other love of fluid art, and bringing them together in this way that can really aid that healing and aid that growth. And I'm really excited to share it with you all. This is the tile that we did last week. Oh, I can't see the video. There it is. Yeah, so this is the tile I did last week. I don't know if you can see all those beautiful blues that are in there. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if you can quite capture all of that. But that was from Sadness Week. And it came out, it looks absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to turn it into a trivet. And this week, we're going to be talking about courage. So, now why do we do an emotional download? An emotional download is where we pick an emotion, a good emotion or a bad emotion. It's important that we learn that I'm safe, I'm okay, even when I'm sitting with uncomfortable or comfortable feelings. My feelings are enough, and my body is built to feel. My feelings can't hurt me. My thoughts about my feelings might be able to cause me to do things that can hurt me, but my feelings cannot hurt me. And our bodies are built to feel. It's when we try to ignore or shut out our feelings like fear or sadness or grief. That's when we come into problems with depression and anxiety and other addictions or other numbing strategies, where like we become shopaholics, where we blow out our budget and or we overeat or we over-exercise or we do these compulsive things that really aren't serving us and aren't getting us the results that we want and we deserve to have in our lives. So we do emotional downloads so that we can embody these emotions. We can be safe. We're in a safe space feeling these emotions. And it trains our brain to be able to have big emotions and not cause that to trigger our limbic system to go into like freak out. Yeah, our emotions are fine and they are good. It's our body trying to tell us something. Okay, so another reason why we want to join art and creativity with this deeper work, and why it's so rich to do this, is because it takes 200 to 400 repetitions of a thought to turn it into memory. If you introduce creativity and play with that thought, it only takes 10 to 20 repetitions. So I was always taught when I was at school that you don't want to, like doing creativity was a waste of time. Like doing art, oh yeah, that's the first thing to go when you're running short on time. But reading a textbook, that's a great idea. Whereas really we're actually seeing that it's the other way around, where creativity and play with intention actually takes our learning deeper. And this can be used in many areas. I'm choosing to use it in the area of personal growth. So what sensations do you feel in your body when you're feeling courage, when you're feeling courageous? For me, I have like this uplifting, strong, excited, kind of giddy, but not in like a uncomfortable way. My head does swirl a little bit. I think that's a little bit of nerves. yeah, and I feel confident, I feel strong, I feel excited, like nothing can stop me. And I encourage you to think for yourself, like, what sensations do you feel in your body? What thoughts are you having? And what colors do you associate all of that with? For me, I chose a rich purple, orange, sunset kind of vibe. Yeah, that really feels like it matches that energy that I've got in my body. Yeah, so I'm going to give myself a moment. I'm still getting used to doing lives and talking in front of people, so yeah. Okay, so courage is fear that has said its prayers. So you don't have courage if you don't feel fear. So fear is not something to be afraid of in and of itself. Fear is something that we can hand over, whether you're religious or not. You can hand it over to your own higher wisdom, you can hand it over to your higher power, you can hand it over to your version of God, or yeah, and that letting go and trusting the process is where fear becomes courage. There's also something that I wanted to talk about, which is called the hero's journey. The hero's journey is something that Joseph Campbell coined, and he speaks in his book Hero with 1,000 Faces about the 12 steps of the hero's journey and the cycle. I won't go too far into that today because we're just doing a fairly short live. But one of his quotes that I love is, "Nothing has gone wrong when it's hard. Life being hard, things being challenging isn't a sign that there's something wrong with you or that there's something wrong with your life. It just means that life is happening, and this is an opportunity to grow and to lean into the discomfort of recovery and of growth. Lean into your growing edge, because that's where life begins." Yeah. So I also wanted to share, when it comes to when we try to avoid feelings like fear, what happens is, so Dan Wagner does a lot of research on this, and he coins it ironic processing. So have you ever noticed how, like, somebody gets pregnant and then suddenly you're seeing baby stuff everywhere, or you buy a Toyota and suddenly you see Toyotas everywhere, or a red car, or somebody says, "Don't think of a white bear." And what do you see? Your mind is powerful, and it gets to work showing you and proving to you that, yeah, it keeps reflecting that back to you. So when we try to avoid something, ironically, we actually focus on it. And what we focus on in our lives grows. So focus on things that are good. Focus on courage. Focus on trust. Focus on being creative. And yeah, let your courage fly. Okay, I'm going to go into painting now. So for today, we have got 4 yummy colors. I'll turn it fully down. All right. So we have a beautiful yellow. So this one is Amsterdam Cadmium Yellow Deep. Then we have a mixture that I made up. It took me a bit to get this color to be what I wanted it to be. I wanted a nice rich orange, and this is, it took me a bit to get there, so it's a bit of a mix up. So we've got some Liquitex Basic Medium Magenta. We've got some Amsterdam Azo Yellow Medium. We've got some Modern Masters acrylic ink. So I'd got fluoro red and fluoro yellow, which I added some of those to really like make the orange vibrant and get it to really pop like a sunset. Then we have this beautiful maroon, pinky maroon, and it is a combination of permanent red violet and sangria. Oop, sorry. Yeah, so it's a combination of these two. This is one that I used in my love video. If you haven't seen my other lives, go check it out. There's links in the event. Unfortunately, the live didn't work out exactly right, so it's a recording. So the link is in the event for both last week and the week before. And then the last color, which was actually the pick. I ran a poll on a few of the fluid art groups to see what color people linked to courage. And so this one, the winner was TLP Violet Rain. And I put a little dollop of Amsterdam permanent blue violet in the mix as well. I find that adding just a little touch of a transparent, it has to be transparent, not opaque paint, to my TLPs or to pigments in general, I find it can help just give it a little bit more vibrancy, a little bit more pop. And I think it also helps balance out the paints as well a bit from a consistency point of view. Okay, I'm going to put my gloves on before I get messy because I'm notoriously getting paint all over my hands, and yes, on my wedding ring. My husband is not a huge fan of it when I do that, but yeah, all of my clothes eventually become paint clothes because I forget what I'm wearing and I get excited and I get into it. Okay, so today we're going to be painting on a hexagonal tile. I love doing hexagonal pours. I find the shape just goes really well. Okay, and so this is the pillar paint. Okay, now I'm notoriously putting more, I'm notoriously putting too much paint on, so I'm gonna try and hold back a little bit today, but probably not. We'll see how I go. Okay, I've got a few bubbles here, so I'm just going to pop some bubbles. Alright, so I'm going to put don't want to have some gooby goobers in the paint. Alright, let's start with this beautiful orange. I'm going to do a little messy today. So one thing I love about fluid art is that you have to go with it. You can't stop and think too much. You just have to put the paint down, and then once it's working, you have about 20 minutes, if that, to work with the paints. So you have to trust the process and let go and have courage. Particularly if you like to do things, there's a technique called wrecking, where after they do it, maybe I'll do some today, where you run something through the paint and you get beautiful, it changes the bloom, it changes the effects. And I find that I'm often too chicken. I'm like, no, I don't want to wreck it. Popping more bubbles. The other thing I love about fluid art is that you can use it to be more mindful, more intentional. Okay. So I'm going to use my favorite swiping tool today. Yes, it is a cheese knife. I got it from Goodwill and it's my favorite. I'm just using some black CA, so cell activator. I use Amsterdam, this is Amsterdam Lamp Black and Amsterdam Titanium White. I'm going to use two cell activators today. So there's one, and then I'm just going to take this where you can see it and just drizzle some white on top. I find that the black CA is really good for giving lacing, and the white CA is really good for giving like nice cells. And when you do both, you get a little of each. I like it. Okay, where have I got the most paint? I think here. I'm just wetting the edges so that the paint will flow. As you can see, I put too much paint again. And I'm going to end up losing all this beautifulness. I wish I could keep it like that. A lot more paint needs to come off. So if you have any questions for me or anything, I'd love to hear them. So this spinner that I'm using, you can use a cake spinner or any other type of spinner. This one is one by Jessica Winterstrom. She is an amazing fluid artist, and she makes her own spinners. So she custom makes them for fluid art, and she can make really huge ones or little tiny ones like this. And I'm looking forward, in, what is it, 2 weeks now? I'm going to be in Dallas, Texas, at the Fluid Art Experience. I'm going to be a TA with Jessica. And there'll be lots of other amazing fluid artists there and classes, and it's an amazing, fun event, accessible at any skill level. So if you love fluid art or you're curious, if there's ever one near you, it's a really great event. It's nearly here. I'm currently trying to talk the people who run the event, Jeremy and Lee, into letting me do a little presentation. So keep me in your thoughts, and hopefully I'll be able to do that. Okay, I think that we've gotten enough paint off now. Let's do a little check. How deep is? Yeah, we're good. We're good. So there it is. Can you see all those beautiful purples and yellows and rich orange? Voila. Alright, well, thank you for being with me. Oh, I gotta keep away from that window. Thank you for being with me and for sticking it out. It was a lot of fun to paint, and I hope maybe you've heard something or learned something interesting. If you're curious about fluid art or any of my coaching stuff, feel free to reach out. Obviously this is my channel, or I have a website, goldenfluidart.com. And yeah, I'd be excited to share more. So have a wonderful day, have courage, and yeah, go do something courageous. Bye.